Mama Africa, she moves like the wind. Mama Africa, she speaks like the sea. Mama Africa, she struggles every day. Mama Africa, Mama Africa, she says, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Africa, she speaks like the sea. Mama Africa, she struggles every day. Mama Africa, Mama Africa, she says, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, the ocean's fighting and fighting. She's fighting, yeah. For little baby South Sudan. She's fighting, yeah. She's she says, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, Atanafas, Karakachak, we can change it, we can solve it. We can bring solutions to Africa if we stick together and stand united. Cause nothing breaks us, nothing beats us. Africa, cause she's fighting and fighting. Yeah. She's fighting, yeah. Little baby South Sudan. She's fighting, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Yanas. Good afternoon, good morning, ladies. Thank you all for joining us for the 10th discussion of the South Sudan Women Intellectual Forum, celebrating success, showcasing the talents of South Sudanese women. My name is Esther Soma. I am a women, peace and security expert working for UN Women in South Sudan, but also I'm a deep lover of the arts. And today it's just my absolute pleasure to be your moderator for this incredible session. What you just had was the song Karakachak by one of our panelists of the day, Miss Sarah Cibrino, also known by her stage name Yanas. And the song that she just graced us with is Karakachak, a tribute to how Mama Africa struggles for her children. Now, diving into today's session, a number of studies have shown and found that celebrating people and achievements brings significant benefits, including improved physical health and better coping strategies. People who take the time to reflect on and celebrate their successes are generally more optimistic, they take better care of themselves, and tend to be less stressed. Recognizing and celebrating success is a very powerful motivator for individuals and teams because it reinforces the meaning behind all that hard work and it shows appreciation for achievements. This in turn boosts our self esteem and it motivates us to take the next step towards achieving the next goal. Now, talent, we often throw this word around talent. Talent comes in different forms. It could be simply translated as skills and ability. For some people, it is genetically inherited, and some develop it with lots and lots of practice. Talent is not something that can be bought, but rather it can be learned and it can be mastered. Now, joining us for today's session is an incredible panel. First and foremost, we'll have Ms. Anyeth Dawol. She is the director of the Roots Project in Juba, South Sudan. Next, we'll have Ms. Sarah Sabrino, also known as Yanas. She's a singer and a songwriter based in Juba, South Sudan. We will then have Ms. Abuloye, who's a visual artist based in Juba, South Sudan. Then we'll have Ms. Linda James, who's an instructional designer based in Florida, and Ms. Winnie Godi, fashion designer and founder of Winnie G Fashions, based in Juba, South Sudan. And I am Esther, moderating from Juba, South Sudan. Now, to kickstart the discussion, we are going to have Ms. Anyeth Dawol, a human rights lawyer, a faculty member of the Center for Mind and Body Medicine, and the director of the Roots Project. So I will have Ms. Anyeth on screen now. Okay. Okay, it seems like I have Yanas on screen now. Okay, I will go ahead with Yanas. I will go ahead with Yanas. Yanas, thank you so much for releasing beautiful sounds. Sarah Sabrino, also known as Yanas, joined the music industry in South Sudan in 2016 after winning the Vivacell-sponsored Music Talent Search 2016. Following her win, she started writing her own music and has up to date recorded 18 singles. She has performed mostly in Juba. Her style of music is soft rock, fusion, jazz, and once in a while some reggae. She plays the guitar. You had her play the guitar at the beginning, and she was awarded the Best Female Artist and Best Female Vocal Artist in the 2019 South Sudan Music Awards. So, Yanas, could you tell us a little bit more about the song that was played at the beginning and what was the inspiration for it?
Thank you, Esther. The song Caricature came about when I heard of this childhood song or game that kids used to play, but it was mostly used to incite each other to fight. And I thought to put a positive spin on it and to make it worth something, I decided to make it about how how Mother Africa or Mama Africa fights every day and struggles for her children. And one of the children being South Sudan because of all that we're going through right now, all our challenges. Yeah, that's basically it about the song. I started singing like officially the time when I discovered that my voice was something people like to hear. Okay, so that was when I was in high school, and it was at the church when I auditioned to be part of the choir. That's how I started singing, and it went on through college, also singing in the church. And then I decided that I wanted to write songs about cultural challenges. I wanted to write about other issues as well. So that's when I decided to pick up singing and songwriting on my own and write about other other issues as well. Yeah, that has been my journey.
I'm curious, Yanas, do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
Oh well, yes, I was in high school with a friend of mine. It was a gospel song that talked about how God is good to us, and it's been a while. I can't remember all the lyrics now, but I can sort of remember part of the tune. But the first time I wrote my own song was in college. And that was the first time I discovered that I could put together a song. But it was actually a lot of errors, but um, it gave me the confidence to start writing. But it was when I came back home in South Sudan when I felt I needed to write um, about things that we were going through as a nation, as also because I was inspired being home. There's a lot of things, and that's why I recorded my first song. It was a song I wrote when I was 5. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Now,
Mhm.
Jonas, being in the music scene in South Sudan, how do you use the media, if at all, to promote your musical career? Or how have you utilized the media to promote your musical career?
Well, so far I have put up or I've used social media. Like I have some YouTube videos that I keep posting up of shows that I perform at. I also use Facebook, and that helps because you get funds from other countries to also sort of be part of what your journey. And then while I was in um, well, when I discovered radio, rather, is when I also started using it as part of the medium to help to promote some of my music. So those are the main things, but it does make a difference because in South Sudan, not everybody uses social media. They don't have access to that, but radio moves further along. So radio, combining radio and online media really helps to balance things out. Yeah.
Great. Now, I'm curious, what are some of the challenges you face as a female artist in South Sudan? And are there some challenges that are unique to you as a female artist, or would they not apply to male artists? What are some of the challenges that you have faced?
As an artist, without either being female or male, some of the challenges we face is the lack of support for local music. People would prefer, like, if you see artists brought from outside the country, the seats are filled, or the theater is full. But when local artists try to put up shows, there are very few people who attend, and most of them are either family or friends. So that's not really encouraging, and that means we need to work on that as a nation. But also, personally, I feel some of my challenges are whenever I have late night shows, I find it a bit scary to travel on my own because of the safety, being female. That's where it specifically sort of affects me. I always travel with somebody, either a family member or a friend I can trust, because at night you don't know what happens. So those are some of the challenges I face. I mean, apart from that, um, artists don't have like sort of like an appreciation for our art in terms of how much we're paid. Like there is no set price of how much an artist should be paid after they like perform at a show. So that kind of puts us in a challenge. So we're just dependent on whatever the person has. Like they'll be like, okay, I'm performing for this session or this event, and the person will tell you how much they have, and then you make the decision of whether to play or not. But there is no scale, there is no guidance in that area. So we struggle in terms of trying to find out how we should price our art and our music. And also, apart from that, things to do with copyright and things to do with appreciating our effort whenever we do performances. People don't take into account how hard it is to put up, like to write a song and to produce it and record it and put a video, and the price tag that comes with it. It's a lot of sacrifice. So these are some of the challenges we're still trying to get the public to understand so that they're more supportive when we go out to perform. Yeah.
I'm curious. You've talked about copyright. Are there authorities within the country that you can utilize to address some of these things? Are there any laws that protect artists, or is there a gap in our laws to address these issues?
There's a big gap, and unfortunately, that gap has caused a lot of pain and possibly also some artists or dreamers sort of losing hope in being an artist because We have people who are like supposed to be managers, but they don't really play the role of managers and promoters. And in the end, what happens is the talent or the artist is taken advantage of, and there's no one like to fight for them or protect them, because there isn't even a law to begin with that protects our art and our creativity, and nothing to show that it is our profession. Like when people go to offices, sometimes they have like a tag, right? An office tag that says, okay, I work in this and this place. But artists, we don't have that. If you're not like famous enough, nobody knows who you are. If you tell people I'm an artist, they're like, what? I've never heard of you. Like, so there's quite a lot of things that could put people down, like the younger generation. They may not have the courage, because it takes a lot of courage to take music or being an artist as your profession. Considering in Africa, it's a huge discouragement. Like every parent is like, do not whatsoever do that. Become an artist, and we have a lot of challenges. And I once spoke to some lawyers about it, but I haven't seen anything that is legally put down that protects our art, whether it's me and my music, or artists who are painters or fashion designers. I haven't seen anything of that.
Oof, wow. Okay, I hope there are some lawyers who are out to support South Sudanese female artists and other artists who are willing to take this up and probably contact you for that. Now, Yanas, what recommendations do you have for the audience who would want to support female artists like you in South Sudan?
I would say like to what I would, in my position as a female artist in South Sudan, there's a lot of platforms I would have hoped to be exposed to. Um, um, to succeed in music, in the music business, you need a lot of financial support, because it takes a lot of money to record a song and to, put a video out. And without regular performances, without performances that earn you money, it's difficult for you to push your music forward. So you slow down a bit on that. So I would ask for such support, whether it's financial support, or it's connections, or it's opportunities that are even beyond the shores of South Sudan. And I'm not the only female artist in South Sudan. There's at least maybe 7 of us. But again, in comparison to the male, we're like, it's like it's like there's one female artist in like 10 male artists. That's kind of the ratio. We're very few. And apart from it being a cultural issue, not families or parents allowing their children to pursue music as a talent, it's also got to do with the fact that it's just very difficult to survive. Like when some of the artists get pregnant, some of them stop working for a while, right? They don't really write songs, and so it becomes, some of these challenges are just unique to us. And I hope that whenever a female artist sort of posts a song out, we get like a roaring support, whether it's online or whether it's attendance to events that they do. It makes a difference to us, actually. It keeps us going. Keeps us going. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Yanas, and I hope the audience enjoyed listening to you. Please go out, support her music. She's a great artist and the best female artist in the country at the moment. So you feel free to check out her music, her YouTube page. Why am I marketing you? Market yourself, Yanas. Do you have a YouTube page that people can reach out to you on or check out your music
Yes,
on?
yes, yes, I do have a YouTube page. If you just search for Yanas, just to make it simpler, just on YouTube, search for Yanas South Sudan. You get all my music there. And then I'm also on Reverb Nation. That's why I posted up all my music. And you can find me on Facebook, Yanas page. Yeah, there I get to post what I'm up to, what I'm planning to do. And so, yeah, you can come for one of my events if you can. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Yanas, for joining us. It's been such a pleasure hosting you. And I look forward to discovering more and more of your music. And I hope the audience feels the same way. Thanks, Yanas. So
Thanks for
next,
having me.
yes. Next up, I'm going to have Miss Linda James. Linda James is a native South Sudanese and an instructional designer with over 7 years experience designing, managing, and teaching in educational settings. She provides administrative, program, and directional support to educational programs at the University of Florida, providing educational training in person and online to healthcare providers and students in improving the care of patients. Linda considers herself an interactive learning designer and is always looking for ways to encourage active learning in every curriculum she designs. She also creates websites as a hobby. I mean, how kick-ass is that? A lady who enjoys creating, coding, websites. Those things just pass over me. So I have a lot of respect for ladies who I see doing this, venturing into this area. So right now, Linda, welcome to the section today.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your journey to mastering this unique career?
Well, my journey, I think I kind of stumbled on this field. Previously, I wanted to be in international development, and I started my career in that aspect. But as we all know, being a mother and becoming a wife, our goals kind of change over time. And so for me, it wasn't the best fit for our family for me to be abroad all the time. So I decided I needed to look into a different career path. And so while I was working at the university, I first started out like a program assistant. And so what I decided to do was I learned about this instructional design field, and it was, it's an upcoming field basically at that time, 6 years ago. But I realized that it made sense that we're going to be moving towards online learning eventually in the future. So if I want to be able to find jobs easily in the future, then I should go towards anything computer based, right? And so I learned about the program. I found that they had a master's program at my university. Meanwhile, I had just had my first son. So I was very much a tired mother working full time and all that. But I started to take the time to take the courses. So I really took the master's program. It took me like 3.5 years to finish. I was taking one class at a time, one semester at a time, but I knew my goal in the long run. And then what I started to do while I was a program assistant is started to take on little roles, little opportunities if they were given to me to create something for an online course or do some graphic design stuff. I was learning HTML and CSS, so I would help with editing the company website, those little things while I was finishing school. And so once I finished school, I had already had some experience under my belt. And so I was able to apply for instructional design jobs within the university, and I was able to get started on my career there.
Great. Now, when someone mentions instructional design, it can seem to pass over you. So I'm curious, let's say I'm a chemistry professor and I hire you to help me develop and design an online chemistry class. Could you guide the audience on how you would go about curating the online course?
Yes. So oftentimes we're brought on by these faculty members, instructional designers. We don't do the actual content. What we do is we work with a content specialist. So in this case, the professor in chemistry would be the content specialist. And then I would come along and work with him to create an online course for his content. And so what I often do is I sit with them, have them tell me about their course. If they've had this course previously as an in-person course, I would want to see the syllabus. I would want to see the objectives for the course, some of the activities that he's done previously. And oftentimes we go one lesson at a time, basically talking through that lesson. What is it that he wants his students to learn? And then we talk about what is the best method for providing that information to the students, and then giving them a chance to practice, right? We've all been in courses where we need to write an article or we need to do some extra reading. And so with the online virtual world, we're able to do so much more with some of the learning management systems. We have Moodle. Some people are used to Moodle. Some people are familiar with Google Classroom. People have Canvas. And so all of those learning management systems, you can do things like quizzes, you can do assignments, you can do interesting interactive activities. Now there's virtual reality and all these other fun things. But most of the time, most people are going to stick to the simpler ones. And so I work with the faculty to identify their lessons and help them properly design instruction that makes the most sense and uses the online technologies that as are available that make sense with that activity. And the goal is to provide a better quality course for students and learners. Most of us were in undergrad where we just attended lectures for hours and we could barely remember what was said, but somehow we had to keep track of notes, restudy our notes, and then take the exam. Well, the problem with that is you're able to retain that information for a very short period of time. You're able to complete the examination, but after that, you're not able to apply it very well. So teaching faculty members who are very good at what they do, they might be a chemist, they might be an economist, they were taught to be those things, but they're not taught to be teachers. So for us as instructional designers, we come along to help them learn how to teach what they know.
Amazing. So could you kindly share with the audience one of the online courses you've developed and a website you've developed in your free time? I think I'd enjoy seeing that.
Sure. I can start with the online courses because that's most of my job. I'm a full-time instructional designer at the University of Florida. So these are some of the courses that I've been able to create this year. So I'll just start with something simple like the COVID-19. So our university has led efforts with the state to create contact tracing courses for the state of Florida. And I was fortunate enough to be the instructional designer for that. So I created this course in Canvas. Canvas is one of the learning management systems. So if you are a student, this is what you would see as a student. And so you'd come to the course, you'll see all the information that you need. Each module has a set of activities. So we often start with a pretest and a self-assessment just to see what you already know. And that way we can kind of measure your learning a little bit better. Then we go into some of the content a little bit more. We'll look into, give you some information about what you'll be learning. And then we'll move from there, such as all these other activities. Currently, it's set up to where you can't see these items unless you do the previous activity, but just so that you get an idea of what each page looks like. If you've never taken an online course, you would be looking at doing, these are quizzes. And then you have more information about the module, what you'll be learning, what's the lesson for that week. Most modules are broken out by weeks, sometimes by months. So I'm able to lay out some of this stuff. And you should know that these pages are built with HTML and CSS. So this is why it made sense for me to start doing websites part-time, because I was already doing mini web pages, right, like this. And so I was able to take some of my skills and go, I can make some extra money on the side by creating websites. So this is definitely one of the courses that I have. And this course, right now we have many contact tracers throughout the state of Florida who are taking it and at UF, and they're able to learn what they need to learn through these modules, how COVID is transmitted, some risk factors that they should look out for, contact investigation, how it's done, interviewing skills, how do they collect data, and then they actually get to practice an interview, because my goal is for them to be highly skilled by the end of this course. So this is one example of a course that I've created with some content specialists. So there was about three faculty members that I worked with, and we created this in 1 week, which is usually not possible, but we worked very hard on this course in 1 week. So that's some of the exciting things. Another one is when it comes to websites, since I do it part-time, I really try to provide websites to individuals that, to pay someone to do your website could be almost $5,000. And for me, I don't want people who are doing great things out there, like such as organizations, to have to feel like they need to come up with $5,000. So I provide websites very, very affordable for these companies and individuals, just so that you can get started and get going, And I also want to build my portfolio, maybe not today will I charge 5,000, but maybe in 5 years, right? But I want to do that after I built up some clients. So this is one of the websites that I've built. This is my husband's organization. They got a clinic back home. And then this is a project that I'm on with one of my cousins, Nunu. So hi, Nunu, if you're watching. So this is one of the websites for our project that we're trying to gather some interest and support for to do a film festival in Juba.
Amazing.
And then we have this website, which is our website for the forum. Wow. I was just working with Aisha to get this website going, and I appreciate all the individuals that were able to send us some photos at the last minute to create a beautiful website. So we hope that you'll join us at southsudanwi.org, and you'll be able to see what's going on. We are adding videos from these forums and live sessions that we've had. We'll be adding those as well. And this is another one. My friend is a designer. He does events. And so I created him a website. We're still in the process of working through this. So I created him a website that can showcase some of the things that he's already done. So he's an amazing designer. So it's great to be able to support his work and some of the things that he's been a part of over the years. So I was creating this website for him, basically like a portfolio of all of his work over time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Alia, okay, I'm actually curious. Now that you said you want to build your portfolio, anyone who wants a website, should they come your way? Because you're not going to charge.
Please feel free to contact me. Yes, I am part of the forum, so you should be able to find my name and my information, and feel free to.
I hope the audience has taken note of that.
Yeah.
Services are being offered. Now, you mentioned that you had to go into instructional design and you were thinking about your family. Now, you're a mom of 3 boys who are 6 and under.
Yeah.
How do you balance working from home and taking care of the family at the same time?
Well, I think being in the instructional design world, because it's online learning, you're able to, more of our jobs are online. So we're able to work from home, which makes it very easy. But at the same time, working from home means that everybody thinks you're available. You're not working, right? For some reason. But the truth is, honestly, my husband and I have become really partners, in our marriage. And so we take the time to sit down and look at all the things that need to be done in the home, including how to take care of the kids, get them ready for school, do any of those things. And we really divide up some of our duties. And part of that is because, I've supported him through times when he needs me to support him, and he wants to be supportive of my career as well. So we actually share a lot of the responsibilities in the home. Of course, he's still a traditional Dinka man, so some things I'll never be able to ask him to do. But at the same time, there are things, we sit down and we write down all the things that need to be done at home, and then he's able to select what makes sense for him to do. And anything that he can pick up really does lighten the load for me, so that I can be able to focus and do all those things and contribute to the family.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Linda. As I wind up with you, what recommendations do you have for South Sudanese who want to venture into the field of instructional design? Yes,
so if you want to grow into instructional design or even online website development, I would encourage you. There's so many free resources out there where you can learn. You can learn some of the software that's used in instructional design. We use like Storyline, Captivate. We do Canvas. You can create a Canvas, your own Canvas course for free. Canvas.instructure. You can create your own online course there. I would say building a portfolio is important. If you're already in the education system, if you're teaching, you can create an online course for your class and then start learning those things, because as a teacher, you probably already know the design principles and how to create instruction. So what I would recommend is take the time, even just a few hours a week, learn something new, because you never know what opportunities it creates for you and the skills that you gain. When it comes to, if you want to learn how to build websites, there are a bunch of coding camps online. There's companies that let you just basically learn how to code, just basic HTML and CSS. You can take your time and do it, or you can sit for hours and do it, right? And so a lot of people are able to learn how to make a website within 6 months. So I'd say if it piques your interest, just start doing it. Start little things, little projects, whatever, and ask people. You know, many people always talk about needing to create an online website or something. So just offer your services if you've already learned it, and you can offer it for free just to get started, you know, and then once you've done a few, I'm sure people will be willing to pay you to do it.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Linda. That has been much appreciated. And ladies on the forum, if you need help with the website, you're starting up an organization, please reach out to Linda James, and I'm sure she'd be able and available to help you. Thanks again, Linda.
Thank you, Esther.
So next up, I have Miss Anyeth Dawal. Hi, Anyeth.
Hi. Hi, Esther.
Welcome.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Welcome to the discussion. I love the piece on your neck. It looks amazing.
Thank you so much.
Let me give a brief bio about you. So Miss Anyeth Dawal is a human rights lawyer, a faculty of the member of the Center for Mind Body Medicine, and the director of the Roots Project. So the Roots Project provides a merit-based, non-discriminatory crafts-making safe environment for women in South Sudan. The project provides all material for the crafts and promotes and markets the finished products locally and abroad. As part of the integrated services, the project also provides literacy and math classes, childcare, healthy meals for women and their children, as well as transportation, legal support, and emergency funding for healthcare as needed. Now, Anyeth, what motivated you to come up with this brilliant idea, and how did you actualize it?
Thanks, Esther. So I came to South Sudan for the first time in my life when I was 26 years old in 2005. So I just totally gave my age. That's fine. But so when I arrived, you know, it was beautiful. I was working for the UN, and I traveled a lot. I traveled the whole country. Not every corner, but I traveled a lot and I enjoyed it. So all the things that I missed out on, the culture, the art, the music, the dance, folk tales, these are all things that I have great pleasure in. So it was one of the things that I really enjoyed about working well within the UN, doing my human rights work and understanding about people and the issues that they were dealing with. It really gave me just a lot of love, a love for the color, love for the stories, love for the culture and the tradition. So I was working at the UN. I also had a lot of limitations there. It was, you know, a lot of reporting and monitoring. So you can't really get too deep into any particular issue in a, you know, in a micro fashion, and obviously for obvious reasons. But for me, I really wanted to get involved with people. I really wanted to get to know people. I really wanted to understand the culture, and this was the vehicle that came up. I had already been collecting beads for many years, so when I quit the UN, this was it made sense to pull them out from under the bed and actually do something with them. So I visited women from different communities. I started off in Lologo. I met Bari and Mundari women, and this is a Mundari piece. So I, you know, worked with them and just grew from there, giving beads and leaving and coming back and finding more creations, things I'd never seen, most things I hadn't seen actually. So that's how I worked. I got into it. and particularly for a human rights perspective, you know, looking at the cultural, economic, social barriers, I wondered what would happen if, you know, some women could work together and be able to take care of those things, be able to put food on the table without worrying, be able to, you know, stand up for themselves, be able to, you know, build up a social standing as well, and see as an experiment how that would go. And that was 2009. So I'm happy about that.
And it has come a long way since you started it off in 2009. Now, how do you market your craft both locally and internationally?
Locally, we have a store. We have a store in Buluk. It's actually right next to Abuluyai's Baobab Art Center. It's also next to the Eye Clinic in Juba. So and next to Lulu Works. So this is our local store over there, where you'd find a variety of South Sudanese traditional beadwork, basketry, pottery, a whole range of things, woodwork as well. So we sell there. Internationally, we founded with my mother and father-in-law, founded a nonprofit in the US in 2011, and that really has helped us to market things in the US. So we take things there and tell the story. We've done home shows and fairs and markets. We've been to the Santa Fe Folk Art Market in Santa Fe for 7 out of the 8 years. The past 8 years, we were supposed to go this year, but because of the pandemic, obviously that's postponed. We also have partnered with an organization affiliated with UNHCR. They're called Made 51, and they work with refugee and IDP populations. So we also work with women displaced in the POC since 2014, and we have also women that we work with from Gorom camp on the outskirts of Juba. Most of them are from the Anuak tribe. So we work, you know, with all of these people, and it gives us a lot of opportunity as well. So this organization has been able to take our products to showcase that, you know, you can be displaced, you can be struggling, but you're still an artist. You can still be an artist. So the products have been displayed in the UK, in Germany, France, and Japan, and and that's mainly how we sell and market our products. We also have an online market, which usually sends things around the US. Obviously, it can also be sent abroad. And we really just love to tell the story of the women, the struggles that they've been through, and how they've managed to, you know, to come a long way through so many different challenges.
Amazing. So, Agnes, as a trained human rights lawyer, and you was a switch to crafts making an easy undertaking that was well perceived by your family and loved ones? And do you see any synergies between your legal education and the work that you currently do?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big change. It has been a big and dramatic change, and I keep looking back also at my human rights work. And I miss a lot of it, a lot of aspects of it, especially the research and actually getting down on the ground and understanding some of the things that are going on. But it was something that I needed to do, and for my family, it was a hard decision. I mean, for my father, he couldn't understand it in the beginning, but he eventually did. He understood, you know, the whole concept of what it is that I wanted to do, and was very supportive. But it's a very, very big break from something that, you know, from going from a law degree, working in the UN or in the field, and then moving completely away. But for me, it was not completely away. For me, it was, you know, as a human rights lawyer, we focus on civic and political rights. In the Roots Project, I consider we are focusing on economic, social, and cultural rights, which are really the foundation of human rights, because in my experience going around and telling people that they need to report what's happening to them, you know, they always turned around and asked me practical questions like, and then what? And so this is what I began to understand and also respect, you know, that we are victims of our conditions, and what would happen if those conditions changed. Individually, obviously, it's not a huge, massive countrywide program, but in the community that I serve and I work with, things have shifted in a lot of ways. So they're able to ask, you know, make sure that their kids go to school, they can access healthcare, they can earn some money, and at the same time, they start to think about civic and political rights. So we have to bring our people up from the grassroots, and that was the whole intention of it.
Definitely, definitely. It's interesting how you pulled out the social and economic rights aspect of it and you linked it to the women doing their crafts work. You mentioned a couple of communities. Could you say that you've worked with women from all the communities of South Sudan? The 64 tribes or not yet? Are you keeping track of that yet?
Oh. We're keeping track, but we don't have all the tribes of South Sudan yet. I mean, we have some small tribes, but we have you know, in and out, we've had probably about 25 different tribes, members from different tribes working on this project, and it's been amazing because another part. Oh shoot! You're kidding me.
We can hear you. It's all good. Hello, Anya? Hello, Anya? Oh, did I lose? Okay. It seems that I may have lost Anya. But that's it. I can see the beautiful Winnie Godi is on the screen right now. So I'll go ahead with Winnie Godi, and hopefully Agneta will be able to join us and we can go on with the discussion. Hi, Winnie. Hi. How are you? So lovely to have you join us. So I'm going to go ahead and just give a brief bio of Winnie Godi. So Winnie Godi is a fashion designer and fashions. Winnie G Fashions is a fashion house dealing in women and gents fashion, custom-made clothing, exotic and African, and jewelry in Juba, South Sudan. Winnie's designs are a blend of African with Western style, designs that have won her praise and recognition worldwide. She has showcased at Sudan Fashion Week in 2015, Swahili Fashion Week in 2016, Accra Fashion Week in 2017, Nairobi International Fashion Festival in 2017, and the Tokyo African Collection of 2019. Award-winning fashion designer who has been nominated as the best East African fashion designer in 2018 and 2019, and won the best female design category at the STA Fashion Awards 2019. Now, Winnie, you have showcased your collections and designs as far as Tokyo, Japan, and you've won a couple of awards along the way. Please tell us, how did you get here? And kindly share your journey of success with us. Winnie, unmute yourself, please. Kindly unmute yourself. Hello? It still shows you're muted. And as you're trying to figure out, you look amazing. That's a beautiful outfit you have right there. You can hear me, but we can't hear you yet. Could you unmute yourself? Yes, you're unmuted now. Kindly go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. So I need music somewhere right now. Ladies and and men wear, but mostly female wear. I started doing this professionally like 8 years ago when I finished fashion in Dubai. Um, and then from there, those when I had a hustle, and I started like, going for the various fashion weeks. Yes, it's been an incredible journey. Yeah, I must say.
Okay. It was a bit noisy, so I didn't hear you clearly, but I'm not sure if it's just on my end. Could you kind of repeat that?
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Now we can hear you.
Okay. I was saying that I I do ladies and men wear. Mostly female wear. Very beautiful outfits like today. I've been doing this for about 5 years now. I launched my brand with G Fashion in 2015, and then since then I've been able to showcase in like various fashion weeks, like ones you mentioned, and it's been like an amazing journey. Yes.
When it's still a bit breaky, but let's see if we can try and showcase a bit of your work. I have Linda online who will be able to showcase a bit of your work. Let me show some of Winnie's work, and hopefully the connection can get a bit better so that we can hear your response. We would love to hear what you're saying. It's just a little bit breaking at the moment. And I can see Anyeth is back, so we'll have her back soon. But Linda, if you'd help me with Winnie's design.
I've
This is
I've
some of
shared.
Winnie's
Could you
design.
pull,
Yes.
yeah, could you pull up Wendy's design? Because I've shared the screen, but it's in the backstage.
Technology. It's in the backstage.
I'll start again. Let me try that again. There we go. Oh, it's still in the backstage.
Okay, if that's happening,
There it
okay.
is.
Oh yes, coming
There
up.
we go. All right. So these are some of her work.
Amazing. I think this is her Tokyo African collection. This is Winnie's Tokyo Africa collection.
It's beautiful.
If she's online, she could probably speak on it. Amazing.
It's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Oh, very nice. I like that. This was Tokyo, Africa, and Kigali Fashion Week. Very nice. And there she is.
Oh, wow.
It's a beautiful collection.
Very, very beautiful.
I like the balance of a neutral color with the colorful design.
With the yeah, it's very beautiful. I think we could stop there with her PowerPoint of her designs. Then hopefully if we get her back on, we can just finish up a couple of questions that we had for her. Hopefully, and network will cooperate. So I think Anyeth was back on. If Anyeth is back, can I have Anyeth back? And Anyeth can showcase. Oh, Winnie's back. Hi, Winnie. You're back. Can you hear us?
Oh, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So we've seen your beautiful Tokyo Africa collection. It's a beautiful collection. Now, I just wanted to find out, like, what is the creative process you go through as you're coming up with your designs and collections?
Yeah. First of all, what I do is to think through like, what I want to create, what is inspiration. I take my quiet time to think about what I want to create, depending on the situation, or the theme, or the story. Yeah, it's a story needs to have a theme, and so I think through that, and then I get to thinking about choice of colors. After I thought through what I want, the story behind what I want to make. So I think about the colors, mixes, yeah, and then finally I do sketching, then yeah, I do the rest of the process. Yeah, talk about the accessories. Yeah.
Could you hold the mic a little closer to your mouth? Then I hold the mic a little closer. That would be good. The earphone mic, that may be
Okay,
clearer.
please.
So from what I had,
Can you hear me
maybe
now?
yes, we can hear you. Maybe we could also try without video, just in case it may be clearer that way. We could try just without video,
Okay.
possibly, and then your voice. A last shot at this.
Okay.
Hopefully, yes. Okay, so Winnie, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello. I think I'm going to showcase some of the things that we do. So the Roots Project focuses mainly on beadwork. We do traditional beadwork because it's one of the traditions that we have in many of our cultures. We also do basket weaving, calabash weaving. We also do pottery, which is a very big aspect of our project. Um, and embroidery. We also do tailoring and all of these different things. But so beadwork is one of the crafts that's really taken off for the Roots Project. And so what I'm wearing is what we call a mundari collar. Um, and as you can see, it's just beautiful. It sits on the shoulders. It's made with plastic and beads, and it's just the work of a master, I would say. Another amazing piece that we have is the Dinka corset from Yirol.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can really see it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's colorful and beautiful.
Yeah. So this one, these corsets that we have actually is made by one of our members. Her name is Mary Padar, and she was a person that came to us through the DDR program in 2010. So she hadn't made a corset for such a long time, and for the first time in 20 years, she had the opportunity to make, and it took her months and months to make her first one. But now she makes them, every, 4 to 5 weeks it takes her to make a small to a large corset. And her corsets also are in the Santa Fe Folk Art Museum in Santa Fe since 2000 and I think 2016. Since 2012, I mean, when she went to Santa Fe to showcase the Roots Project's beadwork.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to show you also one that I'm wearing here is a taposa armband. Usually it's worn here, so it's also part of the creativity. The women like to take something that they have and also try and create something new. We also do that for the market. We change the colors a little bit to make it easier for people to be able to wear it in everyday use. And we also work with the Anuak community in Gorom camp, and so they make these traditional calabashes. Uh, and for the last few months, they've also been using the same to bead recycled bottles, which is a nice use of the technique, and also, roping in recycling in that as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the work is amazing. The women are really actually very gifted, and it was part of the reason that we, that I focused on beadwork is because it's something that it's already known, already existing, and and they come into it knowing that they have the skill to be able to do it. And then after that, we focus on literacy, numeracy, health training, trauma work, and just the women sitting together creates the the environment where people are looking at each other and understanding that they're individuals as well as creators and members of different communities, but
Mm-hmm.
together as South Sudan, we're a beautiful representation of color and culture and art.
Mm-hmm. How can we who are outside of South Sudan be able to support what the women are doing by purchasing these art pieces or even the wearable jewelry? How can we support from where we are?
Thank you. Well, we have the shop in Buluk. Um, Basically, that store is able to support the women. Right now, we are um, buying food in bulk for the women, as well as giving them their salary so that they can stay at home and work safely. And they can do that because their work is with their hands. So, the fact that we can't be together is something, but we've been together for such a long time that it's such a nice thing. But the shop is there, so it's there with a range of beadwork from different communities. We also have a website. Our website is www.rootsofsouthsudan.org. And you can purchase beadwork over there, and including dolls and all of these things, beaded dolls and a whole range of things.
Okay. Do you have any plans to allow small company owners to become wholesalers of some of the products that come from the Roots Project?
Yes, definitely. We were actually working on this before the pandemic hit, so that was a little bit sad. And so when you talk to a lot of wholesalers and distributors, people are not really buying at the moment because most shops are closed and things are, but we really believe that, in time it'll happen so that we can get online and wear nice jewelry and look. I mean, it's if you can't go out, then there's other ways of doing it as well. But it's also supporting a group of women who are doing it and are motivated by putting their kids in school, putting food on the table, taking them to the hospital if they need, fixing their roof, and from a whole range of things. It gives women this freedom that ordinarily they don't have, because they're actually putting to use something that they already know,
Mm-hmm.
um, into an income generating situation.
Mm-hmm. And it's contributing to the culture because, like you mentioned, the one lady who hasn't made one in a long time was able to remake it and go through the process all over again. And she'll be able to teach the next generation of women to make it as well, which I think we're starting to lose some of those beautiful artisans in our community because they just don't have the space or the materials to do it. And so, with the Roots Project providing that, it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It's also been a pleasure to see people not really wear traditional beadwork for, when I first went to Juba, 2005, 6, 7, 8, people were not really readily wearing beads, but now everyone is wearing beads. So it's
Mm-hmm.
these are the parts of the culture that we need to hold on to. There's others that we can let go a little bit, but
Yeah.
this is one of the things that, can make us happy, can make us proud, it's appreciated all around the world, and it's our identity.
Mm-hmm. And it tells a story. I remember reading that some of the beadworks in some of our different communities could show whether a woman was married or whether she was single, had children, whatever the case was. And it's beautiful representation of so much deeper than just a beautiful piece of art to wear. And so it would be wonderful to see and to hear what more and more people are making and how they're wearing it, and being able to readily identify some of the
Yeah,
art. Yeah.
exactly. It's just beautiful stories. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Esther, are you back?
Yes, I am back. Can you hear me well? Thank you
Yes, I
so
can do
much,
it.
Linda, for stepping
No
in.
problem. No
Thank
problem.
you so much for stepping in, save the day.
No problem.
And I can see Winnie is also back. Hopefully, both of our networks will cooperate for now, and we can just hear from her. Winnie, can you hear us? Winnie?
Yes, Esther.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, perfect. So, Winnie, I think I'll just
Yeah.
ask you. because the first two responses were a bit spotty. I'll just ask you, tell us about your journey to becoming the brand that is Winnie G Fashions.
My journey started in. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. At first, I said I make amazing designs, male and female wear. Mostly I do female wear. I journey started in 2015. So from childhood, I love.
Okay. I think Winnie dropped, but I see Abul is back in the studio. Abul, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Sorry,
Perfect.
the
Perfect.
network is
So,
terrible.
no worries. We understand the struggle. So I'll go on with Abul. Abul is a
Yeah.
visual artist based in Juba, South Sudan, whose art is largely inspired by women. She has been raised and surrounded by strong women and is passionate about sharing their stories through art. She employs a semi realistic style to her art, and she likes to experiment with non traditional art materials in her work, mixing them into her paintings. She's a founding member of Anataban Arts Movement. She led a group of visual artists who pioneered street art in Juba. You can see their work across the city, completing over a dozen powerful pieces on walls and containers across the city. This was back in 2016. Abul has held exhibitions in the UK, South Sudan, Uganda, and Kenya. Now, Abul, we are in your space. Can you show us some of your work?
All right. You mean the artworks of the space itself? So sorry, gosh, gosh, I don't know why the network is doing this today. And it was perfect yesterday.
I know. It's all right,
No.
Abul. Those things happen. Maybe you can just show us one piece if the network cooperates. Abul? Okay. Sorry to our audience, our network keeps dropping on and off. So I am switching in between Winnie and Abul based on internet connections. Apologies for that.
Oh yes. I was saying earlier, earlier that I started officially in 2015. Sorry, in 2015 when I launched with G Fashions, and through the help of the media and support of the people, I was able to. Excuse me.
Sorry, Winnie. Sorry. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Sorry. Yeah. So from 2015, like launched my brand, but before that, I started. I just talked with one of the radio stations. I set up some money, and then that's when I launched the brand, and yeah, uh, and then through the help of the media, I got invited for a couple of fashion shows in Africa and South Africa. Yeah.
Okay.
And
It seems that the network has failed us or is failing us today. So we're not able to quite hear Winnie and Abu well. So I'm just going to have Anyeth and Linda up. And so we're just going to hear any last words that we have from Anyeth and Linda for any South Sudanese women seeking to just get to where you are. What recommendations do you have? And what parting shots do you have for the audience that is listening to us today?
Hi, I can go first. I think that, you know, the things that we need to keep in mind is that we can always think outside of the box. We can always look um, to help to work in different ways, different creative ways. And this is the most amazing thing about art and creativity, is just that you can do many things in different ways. So this is how it's also helped me grow, and it's helped the women grow. And you know, and we have a community that's been able to go through many things. So this network is basically like our lifeline, you know. Um, and also just to showcase what we, you know, who we are. And in a situation also like this, with, you know, Black Lives Matter, with the things going on in South Sudan, you know, how can we use our culture? How can we use who we are, to just to live peacefully together, to live, you know, to see each other, to appreciate each other, and to respect and love each other. Ultimately, I think this is something that is a great possibility, at each corner and each juncture. You know, like we can also just grow this art. I mean, our history is rich. Our history is actually very rich. If you go to European museums, we have a lot of things there, and a lot of things that I never knew that we did, even though I'm in this, you know, also working in this field. um, you know, metalwork, woodwork,
Mm,
pottery, it's limitless, but we don't know this. So we have to keep ourselves open to also go out there and understand that some people may not be able to speak English, or they may not be able, you know, they never went to school, but they have a lot of skills and a lot of things to teach us at each moment. So it's just to be open and creative, and just experiencing life for the challenges, but also the amazing and immense beauty that's in it. Thank you.
For me, I would say that women are incredibly resourceful.
amazing. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for that, Anyeth. Yes, Linda?
I would say that women are incredibly resourceful, and no matter how much we have on our plate, we all have our talents and our gifts. And I think it's important to take time, even if it's a few hours a day or a few minutes a day, to perfect what we do have as a skill or as an ability, and digging a little deeper. And I think it will create opportunities for ourselves if we take the time to invest in ourselves. You know, I know I am guilty of spending hours on social media or hours watching the TV, but if we were to say take half of that time and work on something that is meaningful to us, or a skill or an ability, you will create opportunities for yourself that could either bring help your family economically or help our society in general. I think all of us here are where we are because we've taken the time to work on something that inspires us or is encouraging to us or might be beneficial somehow. So as incredibly busy as we are, I think we can find time to carve to do those things that are important to us. And I think that'll be a great contribution to ourselves, our family, and our society.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Linda. To our audience, thank you so much for joining us today. We sincerely apologize for the network connections. It is not really in our control. But I hope you enjoyed the session to just celebrate each other, celebrate our successes, recognize our talents, and we hope we can have a follow up discussion with some of the artists who were not able to join us well today. But once again, just thank you so much. And we look forward to engaging more. This was Esther moderating you all from Juba, South Sudan. And I look forward to engaging with you all at a different time. Thanks again, all.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, as I was just about to wind us up, I see a bull is back. A bull, are you steady?
Kind of. I
If you're
don't
not, we
know.
could try and have another session and showcase your work and winners. Are you back? Steady?
Okay, let's do that. Let's have another session. It'll be better because I don't know how late this is going to last.
If you're steady, you can showcase your work. Yeah? Are you steady?
Mm,
Because I love your
no,
paintings and I would love for the audience to see that.
I know, but I mean, I can just maybe show a few pictures and then we can maybe the next session then we'll like
Okay, you can just
talk
show us,
more
then
and
in the next session, we can
explain
talk
more.
more about your work. Thanks, Abul.
All right. See, it keeps doing this and it's gonna go off again.
It's totally okay.
Right.
Well, we can see a
So
painting of a mother and a
okay,
child,
let's
though it's off now.
there and
That's a beautiful painting.
then this one we talk about the lion and I don't know if you can see it.
I think I lost Abul again. Okay. Just in case we've lost a bull, thank you all to you for joining today. We hope to have another session where you can engage better with a bull who's one of the visual artists based in Juba, and Winnie Goody, who's an incredible fashion designer. Thanks to all who were able to join us. Yanas, who played for us earlier, Anyeth and Linda. And it was a joy being your host for today's session. Until next time, thank you.